Hey guys, so it looks like I was wrong about Gaige being in Borderlands 3. If you have been following my channel, I made a video a few weeks back covering the evidence why I thought Gaige would be returning in Borderlands 3 and not be killed off. And it looks like Gearbox confirmed I was wrong. The thumbnail for today's video comes from Zymes Demon over on Reddit, and I actually first heard about this news, this whole Gaige situation, from Supmato, so most of you guys probably know him. Great guy, friend of the channel. Before I get into that though, make sure to follow me on Twitter at HayderHype, and let's break it all down. Alright, so during E3, Paul Sage, the creative director of Borderlands 3, has been doing a ton of different interviews, and you've probably heard me mention him a million times at this point if you've been watching my E3 coverage. And he gives a lot of sneak peeks and small info about Borderlands 3. So this actually comes from when he popped into Killer6's Twitch stream titled #Borderlands3 Mo's an opening red chest for you guys, which I will link the entire video down below if you guys do want to check it out. But around the 2 hour and 6 minute mark, Paul responds to a fan in chat who asks about Gaige, and Paul had this to say.
What about Gaige? What about Gaige? So a good question there. Gaige was somebody we talked about putting in, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I think I can safely say that Gaige isn't in the game, and it's not because we don't love Gaige, but the point of this is that there are NPCs that we have to spend time with. If you don't spend enough time with an NPC, then it's not worth adding them in there, right? You're not doing them any favors, not doing anybody any favors. So we have to be really careful, but you know, hopefully this game does well, and then that means there'll be more, and then you'll see even more NPCs running. We have a huge pantheon of NPCs we want to get back to. There's DLC, there's all that stuff. So my hope is that we can get everybody's favorite NPC in at some points within the Borderlands 3 timeline here.
So even though he mentions himself that he is still not 100% sure that Gaige will not be in game, it doesn't seem like she will be, and they will add her in last second. So at the current state of the game, she is not returning, which could mean the other Vault Hunters we haven't seen yet will not be returning either. So that could mean no Salvador, Axton, or Krieg. And I would rather have Gearbox place these characters on the back burner though, and save them for bigger DLC stories or when they think they can fit them in, rather than just kill them off so fans don't have any more questions about them. So I will give props to Gearbox for that. They aren't scared about just shelving these characters and revisiting them later. And Paul, the way he talks about it, it seems like they did have ideas probably at some point to bring all returning characters back, but the scope of the game just gets so big and they want to really invest in the characters we do see. I'm still under the belief though that she could have fit into the story if they did have the robots on Promethea be the stolen design based on Death Trap. And even before we saw Borderlands 3 and got this new DLC for Borderlands 2, the most recent update we had on the characters was from the Holodome DLC for the pre-sequel, and we got new audio from Gaige and Axton about finding Aurelia and starting to hunt for vaults. So it is weird that now they're kind of doubling back on this and want to set the characters aside, but if it's not the right time, it's not the right time. He does go on to say that he does want to add everyone's favorite NPC at some point. We know this game can support multiple seasons of DLC, and it could lead us to some cool places following these characters we still don't know too much about outside of just echo logs in-game. I will mention I do like what Gearbox has decided to do with the NPCs they do have in-game. Maya will be important on Athenas and will have a large story to do with Ava, the new child who we think could be a siren. Hammerlock and Aurelia will also be important on Eden 6 with the Jacobs Corporation, and it's likely that the B-Team mercenaries, which are Tina, Brick, and Mordecai, will show up as well, and Lilith is going to be important throughout the entire thing. And all the thought and care they've already put on all the NPCs that will be returning is crazy and took a lot of work to redesign, to give them big roles in the story and actually make them worthwhile. It does suck for fans of Gaige. She's by far my favorite Vault Hunter from Borderlands 2, and I hope that Gearbox finds a way to add her into DLC for Borderlands 3. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and share, subscribe for all things Borderlands, and I will see you guys in the next one.